Governor, thank you for joining us today. We are grateful to have with us today as our commencement speaker, Dr. Ted Mitchell, U.S. Undersecretary of Education, a great educator and friend. It is a unique time in our country. It's wonderful that we have a president who is engaged in higher education, who is concerned about college completion and college affordability, and believes that the answer to that lies within innovation in higher education, including competency-based education. We have received great support from the administration, from my meeting with the President to Secretary Duncan's endorsement of competency-based education to the presence of Dr. Mitchell with us today as our commencement speaker. Many of you may not know that our Teachers College was created initially by a $10 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education. That may be the best money ever spent by the Department of Education. We're now one of the 5 largest teachers' colleges in the country, the largest provider of math and science teachers in the country, and as Governor Leavitt mentioned, we're just named the #1 secondary education teacher education program. Dr. Mitchell was nominated by President Obama in October of 2013 and confirmed by the U.S. Senate in May of 2014. He reports directly to U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan and oversees the policies, programs, and activities related to post-secondary, adult, career, and technical education, as well as federal student aid. In addition, he oversees 5 White House initiatives: the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, the Educational Excellence for Hispanics, Educational Excellence for African Americans, Historically Black Colleges and Universities, and American Indian and Alaska Native Education, as well as the Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. To spur education, economic growth, and social prosperity, Dr. Mitchell is charged with planning and policy responsibilities to implement President Obama's goal for the U.S. to have, quote, the best educated, most competitive workforce in the world, as measured by our proportion of college graduates in 2020. An important part of that agenda is to reach out to working adults, such as many of you, and provide them opportunity to return to higher education. Dr. Mitchell is the former CEO of the New Schools Venture Fund, has served as the president of the California State Board of Education, has also served in higher education as president of Occidental College, vice chancellor and dean of the School of Education and Information Studies at UCLA, and professor and chair of the Department of Education at Dartmouth College. Dr. Mitchell received his bachelor's and master's degree and his PhD from Stanford University. He now lives in Washington, D.C. with his wife, Christine, and their 2 children. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ted Mitchell.
Thanks. Anybody else reminded of Hogwarts? President Mendenhall, Governor Leavitt, members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family members, and friends, good morning and thank you. And to the graduates, a special welcome and a special thanks for allowing me to share this day with you today. I'm honored to join vicariously in your achievements. Let me say directly to you, and on behalf of the President and the administration, how proud we are of all that you've done and how much each of you has accomplished. We're proud of the struggle and the sacrifice that made this day possible. We're proud of the perseverance and passion for learning that you've shown. We're proud of the exceptional levels of responsibility and ownership you've brought to your own education, completing your work through the challenges of real life, driven forward, always forward, by a sense of real purpose. Most of all, the competencies and knowledge you've both developed and displayed here promise an exciting, exciting future. And I'm as anxious as anyone else to see where that future leads you. Because each of you, together with this groundbreaking university, represents something very special in America's future. Yesterday, as my flight from Washington approached Salt Lake, I looked out my window at the usual breathtaking view. I saw the Great Basin circled by the Rockies and the Sierras, the Great Salt Lake and the desert nestled in the crater. And I'd been thinking about this ceremony and how to talk to you about your wonderful achievements. When we started our descent into that amazing landscape that is Salt Lake, I thought about a different one word, Mike, and that word was pioneer. What comes to mind first when we hear that word is likely settlers and wagon trains, particularly salient here. But there are also pioneers who extend the boundaries of science and medicine, finding new causes and cures that uplift humanity. There are pioneers of civil rights and social justice who have fought to claim dignity for all people. And we have pioneers in technology and industry who dreamed that we would want a computer to carry around in our pocket, and who guessed that we would like to send 140-character messages to the whole world on a very frequent basis. The common thread is that a pioneer is someone who goes ahead into uncharted territory and who prepares the way for others to follow. Independence, discipline, self-direction, commitment, a willingness to do whatever it takes to make their dream a reality. That's the pioneering spirit, and that describes your time and your adventure here. It's hardly a coincidence, then, that those are the values that WGU is built upon. You see, to me, in my new perch in Washington, every member of this graduating class and everyone associated with Western governors is a pioneer. And our world needs you, all of you, more than ever. Part of America's genius through the years, and one of the ingredients that's kept us as a global leader, is our ability to keep pace with change, and even more, to lead that change. By being a part of this incredibly innovative institution, you are bound up in a collective pioneering effort, one that has enormous potential to address some of the most vital problems our nation faces today. Because these are times of tremendous opportunity and potential, but they are so more and more only for those who have the right skills. For centuries in this country, we've educated our people up to and beyond whatever knowledge and skills the current state of the economy and current technology required. And in today's knowledge-based digital age, it's become clear to all of us that every American needs some form of post-secondary education to thrive. But we have a problem. Just a generation ago, this nation was first in the world in college completion among young adults. Today, we're in 12th place. And whether you care most about the life possibilities of the next generation, or about the long-term prosperity of our nation's economy, or the very health of our democracy and civil society, the conclusion is the same. We can't be 12th in the world and still be the country we want to be. To solve this problem, we need new kinds of universities that can attract and retain and help provide positive outcomes for new kinds of students. Students like you who want to take control of their education. Students who want to mark their progress not by logging time, but by proving what they know. Students who prize competency and learning over mere process. President Obama has made the goal of regaining our global lead in college completion America's educational North Star. In fact, by earning a degree today, you've helped move the nation closer to that goal, and I'm grateful. But everyone in this country, everyone, regardless of income, age, life circumstance, zip code, gender, race, disability, or any other factor, deserves the chance to learn and achieve. And especially in higher education, we're not yet close to realizing that vision of fair chances. So what are our challenges? Well, as all of you graduates know, college isn't just about enrollment, it's about completion. And that's a hard journey. In fact, nearly half of U.S. students who begin college at every level never finish. And at a time when college matters more than ever to preserving the American dream, it also costs more than ever. And with the huge number of options out there, clear information on college value, cost, price, outcomes, is too hard to come by. And with more than $1 trillion in outstanding student loan debt and an average debt of $30,000 for graduating seniors across the country, it's clear the status quo isn't working. And it's not just a question of cost, it's a question of return on investment for students and families. What's different about those statistics is that they don't apply to you. And they don't apply to you because of the very innovative, remarkably influential work being done here at WGU. That's why 17 years after its founding by Governor Leavitt and a group of visionary state leaders, WGU itself remains not only an outlier, but a post-secondary pioneer. Western Governors is different, radically different, which means this talk to you this morning will be as notable for what I don't say as for what I do. I won't, for instance, be talking about memories you'll treasure of some strolling through ivy-colored buildings on a brick-and-mortar campus, or some centuries-long school tradition that bonded all of you together as wet-behind-the-ears freshmen. I won't talk about the winning record of your football team, although I might mention the #1 ranking of the Teachers College. And I won't make the mistake of joking about the food in your dining hall, as that was most often your kitchen table. Launching this revolutionary college model wasn't easy for the 19 founding Western Governors, but look at this amazing, amazing result. As President Mendenhall mentioned, WGU today is one of the most powerful forces in higher education. 47,000 students from all 50 states. You're driving the average age down a little bit in this class, but the average age overall, I understand, is 37. But most important for the agenda we have as a nation, many of WGU's students who will follow you represent groups that traditional colleges haven't served well. Fully employed students, first-in-family students, rural students, minority students from around the country. And over the course of your time here, you have also managed important family work and other commitments while you pursued your studies. And I'd like us all to take just a moment to thank the friends and loved ones who are here today, who've done so much to support and encourage today's graduates. Could you guys just turn and thank the folks who've done so much for you? And for those of you watching on the web, perhaps turning around and giving a hug might work. Here at WGU, everything from the admissions process to how you pass your courses is different. You don't have to relearn material you've mastered. You work at your own pace with the flexibility to adjust to life's inevitable ups and downs. And while many traditional colleges still struggle to support so-called non-traditional students, you've each been paired with extraordinary faculty and mentors. So even if you didn't get to walk across campus for meetings with your mentor, you know that there has always been that someone there when you needed them. So let's take an opportunity to thank the faculty and mentors for their extraordinary work. And WGU is innovative in the way it thinks about cost. While annual in-state tuition is about $9,000 at a typical four-year state college and roughly $30,000 at a private four-year school, you've paid a flat-rate tuition of under $3,000, the same as it's been since 2008 for each 6-month term, regardless of the number of courses you've taken or credits you've earned. And I know that this is just the beginning. Dr. Mendenhall, along with the forward-thinking members of the Board of Trustees and the National Advisory Board, will keep Western governors on the cutting edge of access, value, and innovation. This is the future. In the Obama administration, we're working to do our part to create a climate where transformative models like WGU can thrive and where every student has equal access to a great education. Since coming to office, we've made historic investments in college affordability, doubling the federal investment in Pell Grants, raising the maximum Pell Award, and creating the American Opportunity Tax Credit. We've kept interest rates low on student loans, and we're expanding income-based repayment to help borrowers, particularly those who go into public service, to manage college debt. We're also bringing students and families new information tools to make the cost and quality of higher education more transparent. There has been progress, but we know that there is much more to be done. With President Obama's and Secretary Duncan's leadership, the Department of Education will continue to focus our efforts and investments on increasing access, affordability, accountability, innovation, and completion in higher education across the nation. Today's graduates, you know the value of your WGU education. It's helped you focus on your life's passion. It's taught you how to harness that passion in the service of excellence. And how remarkable it is that so many of you are seeing each other face to face for the first time today. This is an incredibly special day for you, and it is for all of us who are here. 4 of your fellow graduates will speak about their experience in just a little bit. I'm the warm-up act. But I thought that I would share just a couple more stories before I turn you over to them. Keisha Alvarado is getting her Master's of Science in Nursing degree today in the field of leadership and management. But not so long ago, her future didn't look quite so bright. Keisha had worked in nursing for 20 years and was at the peak of her career when an accident left her with injuries that threatened to derail that career. Some of her friends wondered if it was time for her to stop doing what she loved and accept permanent disability status. But in Keisha's own words, quote, "Nursing is a calling," end quote. She simply refused to give up. And now she's an ER nurse in California. Keisha's condition would have made it nearly impossible for her to sit through traditional classes in a traditional calendar. But with WGU's self-directed flexible options, Keisha has earned an advanced degree, and she's ready to bring her skills and expertise to a position in management. Katie Wood, too, knows what it means to have a calling. Katie will receive her Master of Science in Education Leadership degree today, and she knows what a difference great teaching can make in a student's life. In elementary school, Katie struggled with dyslexia, and a teacher once told her that she should become a hairdresser because her learning disability would preclude academic pursuits. But Katie didn't abandon her dreams of pursuing a career in education where she could be a champion for children who struggled the way she once did. Katie now works in a second chance high school with teenagers who need extra support making it to graduation. And it's her goal to become a principal. Thank you. The 20th century writer and art critic Harold Rosenberg said that, and I'm quoting, "America is a civilization of people engaged in transforming themselves," end quote. The pioneer spirit, that urge to meet and master the tremendous challenges and opportunities in our world, that's always been a part of our American character. Like Keisha and Katie, all of you are transforming yourselves. And through the work you've done here are transforming your families and your communities. You're pursuing your dreams and inspiring others to pursue theirs through the power of this remarkably 21st century education. And as we celebrate your accomplishments today, I also want to issue a bit of a challenge to you. You've been pioneers in a new way of learning, and I urge you to continue being pioneers. Even with your degrees, you know that things may not always be easy. Tough times, mistakes, failures happen to all of us. It's what happens in particular to pioneers. Frontier hero Daniel Boone was once asked if he'd ever gotten lost. "I can't say as I was ever lost," he responded, "but I was once bewildered for 3 days." So if any of you ever find yourselves bewildered, just think of this day. Remember the obstacles that you've overcome to get here, and recall that those wilderness times are what bring out the best in all of us. And just as you didn't get here all on your own, you'll never be alone in the days ahead. You'll still have mentors, you'll still have your fellow alumni and the WGU community to support you. The knowledge you've gained and the diploma you've earned are anything but virtual. They are real, and they are going to take you to exciting places. In fact, each of you will have the power to change lives and to make your communities and our society better. Each day, please bring the same resilience and sense of purpose that helped you earn these degrees to bear in your workplaces, homes, and communities. Whenever you can, find ways to share your gifts and experience with others. Volunteer, take time to mentor others, speak out for causes you believe in. And I hope that each of you makes it your special mission to encourage someone else, a friend, a neighbor, a family member, to take the next step in their education. Your success is a powerful, powerful example of what's possible. And so here's my wish for you. As students who've earned a degree from a university without boundaries, may there be no boundaries to your achievements and no limits to your dreams. You are pioneers of the 21st century. Congratulations and Godspeed.